So I am walking down the Hollywood stars of fame in Hollywood. And I want to point out society's obsession that they have with the movie stars. They all want the fame and the success and the glory and the acknowledgement. And you want to be successful too. And it's like this dream that many people have. And the issue is they get all wrapped up in it. And they want to be famous because they want the money and they want the glory and they want the acknowledgement they never really truly needed within, because it's all just an inner game that actually brings in the experience that you want to have. So they all come to look at the different stars. We got Terry Bradshaw, KC and the Sunshine Band. We've got Israel Stanford, Harry Connick Jr., right? Etta James, right? We got all these different stars of fame, and everybody wants to be them. And I get it. Money's a tool, and you need to be seen to have success. But the world is about perception, and you have to feel the emotion and the experience before it even happens. But the interesting thing is, even though that is true, there's certain skill sets that you must develop. If you want to be seen, you want to be like these Hollywood stars. You don't want to waste your time just watching these movies, dreaming away, worshiping the movie stars. Oftentimes they got in a position of power because somebody decided to pay them to push an agenda, right? We know there's lots of funny business that goes on in Hollywood, but we don't need to go down the rabbit hole of conspiracies with that. The deal is we want you to achieve the success and not just dream. I don't want you to just dream. These actors, many of them had to do vocal work. They had to read books, develop personalities, act a certain way in order to achieve that success. They became the person who was supposed to walk through that door. So you have to have vocal projection, right? So when you look at people like Donald Trump, the guy, you're like, oh, he's a terrible speaker. He is not a terrible speaker. He knows how to get to your auditory cortex so that you remember him. And the way that he does that, he enunciates. So what he does is he says, Melania, Melania, right? And you remember that, right? He picks up things. He pokes fun at Jeb Bush, low energy Jeb, crooked Hillary. Those are simple things that you can remember. And it stands out and it's on your mind. So there's little tricks to this, to getting recognized. It's not just wishing and dreaming. You have to think about, put yourself in your future shoes. And what are the skill sets you need to develop to achieve that success? You really almost have to earn it, right? Dream it, feel like you're already there, but because you want to be that future person, what are the skill sets you have to develop? What are those personal development skills, right? How do I become a millionaire? What do I need to study to become a millionaire? How do I trigger emotion in people so they can feel the emotion and make, like, here's the thing with business, right? Like, you have to have a skill to offer to transform someone's life, to help them. Doesn't matter. You can be a plumber, an electrician, carpenter, mechanic, and you can grow those businesses. No problem. And you can scale those businesses and you can become a millionaire that way. But when you have a business where it's based on helping another person become better, realizing the true power that's within them, you have to be able to trigger that emotion in them. And the thing is, it's not about making a sale so that you can get some money. It's about really being able to make the impact. So you have to almost trick people because they truthfully on an unconscious level don't believe themselves. So you have to trick them into actually believing in themselves. So you have to create that emotion within their subconscious. Trigger that core pain that they have, right? It's usually that they maybe they really care about their family, want to make money for their family. Maybe it's that they were picked on as a kid, right? And so it's through releasing the trauma, and sometimes it comes through success. You can either release the trauma, forgive the past, and heal from that, and you realize you didn't need the fame and the success in the first place, or you can actually get the fame and success and then realize, oh, I got it. Wait, that wasn't it. I didn't need that the whole time. I got the money, I got the fame, but I have money and I'm still miserable. So it can come twofold. But remember, it's about becoming the person that is supposed to walk through the door? What are the skill sets that I need? What's the marketing material I need to study? What are the voice lessons so that I stand out that I need to take? Possibly you want to be a musician. Perfect that craft, right? Hire a coach, right? I teach health. I teach about the flow of electrons. It's not about the foods you eat necessarily, but the flow of electrons, right? It's not hormones. It's not neurotransmitters. It's not microbiome. It's the physics of how the light is received by the proteins in your body, which is your DNA, and is emitted out of your body. That's how health is actually changed. It's your thoughts and beliefs that are part of that, but it's also the amount of time you spend in the sun. It is the water that you drink and the clarity and the purity of the water. It's how much sleep you get, right? What type of lighting are you exposing yourself to during the day and during the night? Are you getting a lot of LED light at night? Are you spending too much time on the computer? Are you putting filters on your devices? It's all these different things. What's your posture like? Are you upright or do you have poor posture? Are you slumping into the couch, derping out, watching Netflix, dreaming that you are the movie star? Because if you're dreaming, you're wishing, that's the exact resistance to the thing that you desire. It's the resistance. Hear that again. It is the resistance to what you desire, right? Seek and want nothing, attract everything. Just enjoy the path. If you really want to know how to get there, you've got to hire a coach. You got to have someone teach you, how do I actually develop into the millionaire? It took me a long time to get to that path. Actually, I became a millionaire when I was probably about 35, lost it all, and then did it all over again. Right? It's there's lessons to this, right? So, the health thing, my journey of health, right? That was bad too. That was one of those things. I was diagnosed with MS. I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme. I was diagnosed with scoliosis. I had to overcome and find the answers without taking drugs, without escaping through and thinking that there was zero hope. I had to figure out, how do I truthfully heal on a deep level? How do I do that? What does that look like? I moved to Asia. I lived in Asia for several months. Took a vow of silence with monks. It helped and solved the problem. I hired mentors and doctors. I worked with doctors, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money to get there. And you're like, oh, I don't have the money. I can't do it. Bullshit. You figure it out, right? The answers are there. They are there. And as you act as if it's already there, the universe brings you the mentors you need. It helps you find the money. Nobody ever said that you even had to pay the money. Did you ever think that you could just befriend someone and ask questions? Have something to offer them of value. Invite them to an event. Take them out to dinner. Right? They'll appreciate it. Nobody ever said that it was only about money. Sometimes it's you as a person have something to offer. And sometimes it's just a compliment, but you got to feel the room and you got to feel the energy and know that there's always a different way. It doesn't have to be so linear. You guys got your reticular activation system on overdrive. It's that selective hearing and only following the crowds, what they do, that has you thinking that. You got to be outside the box, right? You guys are putting a square peg in a round hole and then saying it's not possible. I can't be rich. Girls only like guys that are 6 feet tall with 6 inches and 6 figures. 6 figures ain't shit now. It's like living paycheck to paycheck and barely getting by. That doesn't work. So, when it comes to the girl, or when it comes to guys, they want the supermodel, right? You're going to achieve all that stuff. But you have to become the person that is supposed to walk through that door, right? Like, pay attention, figure out a way. I just gave you so many answers, and there's levels to it, right? So you make $1 million. Is that really enough? Maybe. Depends on what kind of life you want to live. But I can tell you, if you want to live on a farm away from society so you can grow your own food, you better have a lot more than a couple $1,000,000, because you buy that land and you still got to buy your animals and grow your food, and you're probably going to need help. And then, you probably sell some of that food and make a little bit of money, but there's not a lot of money on a small farm. So you better develop some skill set that offers humanity. And I'm waking up the consciousness of individual souls and awakening the planet one by one. I'm helping them realize that the power's within them, that they don't need to take all these stupid supplements that are superfluous, that God provided you with all that you need. And there's levels to it, right? So you make a couple $1 million, and there's people out there making a couple $1 million a month, right? There's people out there that have extreme wealth, but you may not need to get to that level, and you may not care because there's other things in life besides that. When it comes to your health, there's always going to be the person that's more fit than you. What level do you want to take it to? Right? Don't do it out of ego. Don't do it to show off. Right? Life is about balance. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. What makes you the individual? And people will be attracted to that. When you're living in your own energy and who you express authentically, the rejection you think you're going to get doesn't happen, because when you accept yourself, others will accept you. That's just how it works. You don't need to be something that you're not. You don't need to conform to society. You can be a little eccentric, and the majority of people will accept you. I'm a doctor with tattoos and muscles, right? I have tattoos and piercings, right? And you can't be a doctor, but they love me. They fucking love me, right? And there's always a person who says, I can't see a doctor with a nose ring. I said, all right, good luck, buddy, right? Because I have core value. I know what I have to offer that nobody else does. It doesn't make a difference to me. That's their loss. And that's really how I see it, because I truthfully found the answer. Who else do you know that solved their MS, reversed their scoliosis, truthfully fix 100% of orthopedic issues without surgery, right? Who else can heal chronic Lyme? These things take people out. All these co-infections take people out. You can heal these things, right? But a lot of this starts with just framing things in a different fashion, looking at a different light, knowing that life is perception. And when you change your perception, as you change the way you view the world you view changes. So don't just sit on the couch and think that you're going to fall in love with Hillary Duff and who we got, David Selenick, Gene Autry, Alice Cooper, Ted Turner, Patty Duke, Peter Fonda, right? Don't just think that you're going to be a Swiftie and dream and to come to reality. Take the actions that you're already there and continue to learn. You'll always find a new book to develop your skill set. You'll always find a new guru and coach to help you. These are people that come in your life for a short period of time to help you on your journey. And it's really all about ascension, right? It's like becoming Jesus, right? You want to emulate him. You want to become like him. You want to be godly. And you already are, because you're a light being manifest in the physical matter. But the reality is you want to part the Red Sea and move through these obstacles, because they're just illusions, right? Don't pay attention to where you are at in the moment. It is, right? Just be present with who you are, comfortable with who you are, and let the people show up in your life. Let the opportunities show up in your life. Don't make dumb decisions. Don't risk everything in a crypto trade that somebody rug pulls on you because you just want the wealth to get the satisfaction or the approval from society that you need, so you buy the stupid Ferrari that everybody else wants, right? Don't fall into the trap. It's just a fucking trap. That's all that you're doing. And it traps you here. Be that in the world, but not of the world. And as soon as you decide that you're just going to exist and be and express yourself authentically and continue moving forward, it just compounds. The eighth wonder in the world is compounding interest by Einstein. And it doesn't mean at that level you stop. Because when you resist the flow of life, you die. That's the truth. It's energy in motion stays in motion, right? The law of thermodynamics. You can't quit. Can't give up. If you don't move, your cardiovascular system fails. If you don't move, your muscles atrophy, right? It's a constant development and self-grind. But when you go on that and you prioritize the water, the food, the rest, the exercise, the mind, and the environment, and the posture, next thing you know, you're healthy. You don't worry about chronic illness. You already became the thing because you just did the lifestyle factors that I teach. They just happened. You didn't really do anything other than just live your damn life doing the things. And it's the same thing with making money. It's the same with attracting a partner. It happens in divine timing. And every single person that comes into your life is teaching you a lesson. So it's really not like trapping people. We don't trap people and like, you're mine, right? We just exist, coexist with them, and they teach us lessons. And sometimes they stay and sometimes they go. When the lesson's learned, you're done. You just go. Or they go. iPhone 35, iPhone 36, iPhone 37, iPhone 38, iPhone 39, iPhone 40. Who the fuck cares? It just is. You don't need to do anything silly. You just have to be yourself and constantly live in a state of self-development, becoming better. You don't get bitter, you get better.